Hi, and welcome to HappyKittyCrafts. It's been a while, but I'm back with some knotting videos and friendship bracelet making videos. And today I'm showing you how to make these, not sure what to call them, rounded bracelets, rounded diamonds, shaped diamonds. They also remind me of a God's Eye pattern, but basically it's a big diamond with smooth collected edges. But I'm actually going to show you how to make this in a smaller form today, just so you get an understanding of how this pattern is formed, and then later on you can easily make whichever size and length you like. I just need you to grasp the pattern and how it flows, and then you can easily double your colors, double your threads, and make a bigger one into a keychain. I'm gonna start out by picking the threads, and I usually have several threads that I have measured and cut beforehand. This one has 7 colors, 14 threads, and I usually don't measure my threads. I take the beginning of my threads with my left hand in my index finger and thumb, and then pull it all the way over to my right shoulder, and I do that twice and fold it over, and usually that's the length that I need to work with. So because everyone's arm lengths are different, I've measured it out for you guys, and it's 60 inches to 62 inches overall, and I fold them over, giving me 30 to 32 inches to work with from both sides, the left side and the right side of the threads. So anyway, back to how I'm going to start this bracelet. I'm going to start with making a loop using each color from the threads. So as you can see, I take one color and I do a forward, backward, forward. And then I'm going to lump this color back in with the rest of the threads and pick out the next color that I would like to use and do another forward, backward, forward with that other color. That way I have alternating colors. I'm sorry I struggled to find a good shooting angle and with keeping the setup steady, so bear with me and with the shaky videos, but I was trying as best as I could to get a good view for you guys. So up to this point, I'm still just working on the loop for the friendship bracelet. I haven't exactly started the pattern yet. If you find that it's already difficult for you to follow along, then this may be a bit too advanced for you, and I would advise for you to practice more basic and beginner-friendly patterns first, and then come back here to learn how to do this one, because this is more of an intermediate level pattern. So now that my loop is formed and in the center of the threads, I fold them in half and I start to organize how I'm going to begin the pattern itself. I want to bring in the loop a little closer and tighter together, so I start with joining the pink threads to each other using a forward, backwards knot. It doesn't matter, you're just knotting them together and they're the same color. Next, I do a backwards, forwards knot using one pink thread on all of the left outer edge threads. This is to create that clean gathered outer edge. Now on the right edge, we're doing a forwards knot and then backwards knot and reuniting the two pink threads together. Now I'm taking out the second color from the pile on the left, and I'm going to do a backwards knot, forwards knot on all of the threads, but I have to make sure that I keep the pink threads excluded. The next step after that is we take out a third color from the left side and do a backwards knot, forwards knot on the threads, all of the pile of threads I mean, making sure to exclude the pink and the green now. Basically what we're doing is we are forming our clean edge. So you repeat these steps until you are guided to the last thread, and that is where you stop. And you go back up and take the pink thread and guide it all the way down using backwards knots. And when you do reach that last thread, however, you do a backwards forwards knot to start the corner edge of the diamond. Now that you've done this, you set the whole pile of threads to the left side aside and start mirroring the same pattern that we did on the left side, but we do it on the right side this time. So using the green thread, you do a forwards backwards knot on all the threads, excluding the pink in the middle. Then with the yellow, repeat a forwards backwards knot on all the threads, excluding the pink and the green. Then with the orange, repeat a forwards backwards knot on all the threads, excluding the pink, green, and yellow. So you mirror until you reach that last thread, and then you go back to the top to the pink thread, and you start forming the right side of the diamond shape by going forwards knot until, of course, you reach the last thread on the right, and you do a forwards knot, backwards knot to create the corner of the diamond. By now, the diamond formation is starting to show, and it gets easier from here, trust me. Now for the next step is to join the green threads together at the top, and then take one green thread down the left side using backwards knots until I reach the white thread, which is the last thread that I will be doing backwards knots. When I reach the thread before the pink, on that thread I'm going to do a forwards knot, creating the second corner of the inner diamond. Now if you're experienced in making a lot of diamond shapes and a lot of diamond patterns, you'll know that this is the proper step to do when you get to that point. But if you're not, follow my steps really closely and hang in there. Now you can see I've closed up all the diamonds. Essentially all I have to do now is I have to start warping the bracelet shape again and creating those smooth gathered edges. So using the second left thread, the pale green one, I'm going to do a forwards knot on the dark orange thread on the first left. Then using the third left white thread, I will do a forwards knot on both the pale green and the dark orange. We're essentially gathering the pile of threads back together, and it may look weird at first, but stick with it and mirror the same pattern on the right side. If you want to repeat the exact same diamond colors throughout the whole bracelet, just restart the pattern here. But if you want to alternate the colors, join the orange threads or the next line of threads to make them the outermost diamond shape instead of the pink. Depending on the overall length of threads, you could continue this pattern to make it into a bracelet, or if you prefer cutting them short and making them into a keychain or bookmark, you could do that as well. In my case, what I prefer to do is if I'm making this into a bracelet, I like to make 2 sets of braids. So 1, 2, and then 3, 4, or sometimes just 2 braids on each end, so that when you can put it through the loop, you can tie it over the loop and have a closed bracelet. But in the case of a keychain, I will try to make as many tiny braids as possible for the ends, because it just looks better and it looks cuter. But yeah, essentially it's up to you and your personal preference. If you want a separate video on how to make one large rounded diamond keychain, or you can even make them into earrings, feel free to drop me a comment and let me know if I should make one. But basically, if you wanted to make one large diamond, you're going to need to increase the amount of threads that you're working with to 18 or 16 threads. You need more columns to give that diamond that width, and more columns to work with gives it more width. So I hope that makes sense. I'm not quite sure, but if you need a video, let me know. I'd be happy to shoot one and post it. If you've made it this far into the video, thank you very much. I tried to keep it short, but it can get complicated sometimes. So yeah, thanks for watching and have a great day. Bye.